Four things that pastors need to look for on Sunday mornings. Coming up here on the Better Sundays podcast at reachkeep.com. Welcome to the Better Sundays podcast. Focused, practical, and usable advice for church leaders looking to reach new young families and impact their community. Well, howdy. Mike Holmes here, not in studio here at the Better Sundays podcast, but good to have you here. I'm out at our shop where we got a little work going on. I want to take some time and talk to you about four things that every pastor needs to be looking for on a Sunday morning. Now, you probably could be looking for 50 things on a Sunday morning because you're a pastor and you got a lot going on. There's a lot on your plate. But I want to give you four very specific things that you need to be looking for and paying specific attention to if you're going to reach young families in your local church. So I'm cruising around a mechanic shop here. Want to take a moment and share these things with you. So let's get started. The very first thing that you need to be looking for every single Sunday is you need to be looking for guests. When we are having our church services every Sunday, we are expecting guests. We want them to come to our Bible studies. We want them to come to our special events. We want them to come to our Sunday morning services. We are expecting guests. In fact, we have a little sign we put on the wall that says every Sunday we are expecting guests. Now, this is an important mentality, but it also helps you be aware. It's like when they walk in, it's like, hey, we've prayed for that. We look for that. We are ready for that. And when the guests come, you need to make sure that you give them special attention. One thing that's very important to remember is that when you have your people and they invite somebody to come to church, whether they are coming with them and walking in the door at the same time, or they are, invited, hey, I'll meet you at church, they want their friends to get top-notch VIP treatment, and that's something that a pastor needs to pay attention to. Every single Sunday, when you see a guest, you need to make sure that you talk to them, you welcome them, you greet them, you let them know kind of what's going on, you're helpful to them in one way or another. So make sure that you take time to do that. Every Sunday, be looking for guests. That's a very important thing. The second thing is that pastor needs to really be paying attention to, and you'll probably know this because this is one of our most watched podcasts here recently, is you need to be looking for clutter. And not just clutter like a stack of old magazines here, a bunch of old hymn books there, but you need to be looking for things that are out of place, things that just don't belong there. You have a folding table and it's in some obscure place where it shouldn't be over there against the wall. You've got, a chair sitting there. You got a trash can sitting out. You've got, something going on that is not the way it is supposed to be. And as a senior pastor, you need to be paying attention to that and making sure you talk to the, janitors or whoever it is, make sure you get them to take care of that. So be looking for things that are out of place. And a lot of that, of course, is done on a Saturday and taken care of. But on Sundays, there can be some things, people that are missing, this or that, a lot of different little things. So it takes time to look for clutter. Very important thing. The next thing that you need to be looking for on a Sunday morning, and I'm talking about, and obviously you need to pay attention to your Sunday morning message and make sure you have your Bible and make sure you have your notes, and there's lots of things that you need to be watching. But in addition to looking for the guests and in addition for looking for the clutter, you need to be looking for that person. There's usually one or two people that they just need to talk. They need to have somebody to listen to them. And they sometimes they'll come up to you and start a conversation, and you're like, oh, I got to preach here in a few minutes, or I got to lead music, or I got to do something. You don't have time, but you know that they need to talk, and you need to make some time to either listen to them or get them connected. This is a very important thing. It's one of the reasons why relationship building is so important in church, and where you as a pastor can, have someone already introduced to somebody and say, hey, here's my friend Dave. Maybe you can have talk to him for just a minute. I've got to run do this. And boy, they start to talk to somebody else. So you want to have relationships be number one, because people come to church for events, but they stay because of relationships, and they need to talk, and they've got, something on their mind. It might be a question about who knows what, a doctrinal verse or, Israel or different things along that line. And I'm not talking about the people that need to talk, that want to waste your time. Because we all know that there's some that want to do that. But there's some that just need to have an ear. So make sure, Pastor, that you have all your stuff done ahead of time. Make sure that your sermon notes are ready, everything's ready on your pulpit and ready to go, all the different things that are there, so that if there is someone that needs to be listened to, okay, they need to talk, that you've got a little bit of time and you can just spend some time talking with them. The last thing, and of course you know this one, is you need to be looking for those that are brokenhearted. You need to be looking for someone who has been wounded that week. They've been hurt. And as a pastor, many times you can recognize these people when they come in. They've got, in fact, today we had a lady come in and you could tell she was crying on the way to church. Something was wrong, and turned out she'd lost a loved one, and they'd got the word, on the way to church, they had got the word that they had lost a loved one. And so somebody who is wounded, someone who has been, broken, someone who has been mistreated, and of course that would include someone who is, needs the gospel, and you can see that emptiness in their heart, just that little bit. By the way, for those of you that love Wyoming, that's a little bit of Wyoming outside there. I'll try to go outside here and give you just a little peek in just a second. But the idea here is that you as a pastor have a way of recognizing and seeing those people, the wounded ones. And again, you cannot connect to all of them because you're just one person. But if you have an assistant or if you have relationship people, and what I've learned is I have several people that are really good with the relational stuff, and I ask them to kind of be on call. Now, when a new family comes in or someone's hurting or whatever, I say, hey, could you talk to so-and-so? It looks like they just need, someone to listen to them. Could you talk to them, see what's going on? That you can kind of farm that out there. So that is one of the things that you need to look for. Those that are wounded, those that are broken, those that have all the heaviness going on in their life. So want to share that with you. A little bit different episode here. This is, if you're looking right there, sorry, you're looking right into the sun. That is the Continental Divide right there. Probably not what you thought the Continental Divide looked like, but it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And of course, a little bit of Wyoming here that you get to take a look at here, kind of give you the spread. You can see the yellow trees are beautiful right now, and there's a muddy truck, and there is a mountain in the background there. So anyway, from my place to you, God bless you. We love you guys. Thanks so much for listening to us here at reachkeep.com. I'll put some links to some podcasts, especially the one on Clutter. I'll put that in the notes there, and you can take a look at that. So this is Mr. Mike signing out here at reachkeep.com and the Better Sundays podcast.